Oh my god, let's try something.
See what happened on TV last night?
I always watch.
Oh my god.
It's so fun. It was so
Yeah,
good.
I watched that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh my god, let's try something.
See what happened on TV last night?
I always watch.
Oh my god.
It's so fun. It was so
Yeah,
good.
I watched that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Hi guys, I'm Stevie.
And I'm Talena.
And this is Twin Talk. And it is day 2 of our Dancing with the Stars podcast because Disney Plus did a double feature. I really don't know.
I don't know why.
You know, because it is on a live streaming service, it's not competing with, you know, other TV shows or football, Monday Night Football.
It's
like,
the only live program on
Disney Plus. So it is a little weird to me that
They had to double up.
They doubled up, and then part of me is like, is something going on with Bachelor in Paradise? Because Bachelor in Paradise is doubled up too, and I'm like, are they trying to compete? And like, but then I'm like, but they're the same company regardless. ABC is still a parent company of Disney.
Right.
So why would they be competing against each other? It doesn't make sense to me that Dancing with the Stars would be on Monday and Tuesday on a separate platform, and then Bachelor in Paradise would also be on Monday and Tuesday.
Yeah, I don't think they have correlation with each other. I just don't know why it's happening.
It's just weird. So, but you know what? I don't care because Prom Night was so fun. You know, it really made the idea of prom a lot more encouraging. And I don't know. I mean, how were your proms? You didn't get to go.
No, I didn't get to go to homecoming.
You didn't get to go to homecoming.
No, I went to all 4 proms and they all fucking sucked.
They all sucked. Well, I went to 2 proms.
Yeah.
I didn't get to go to my junior prom because I was in a show at the time. But I went as a sophomore. I was asked by a senior, remember? And then he had like a heart attack and we spent the night in the hospital. Do you remember this?
No,
Really?
I do remember this. But was that your sophomore year?
I was a sophomore, yeah.
Okay, so then maybe I didn't go freshman year. I went sophomore, junior, senior year.
Mm-hmm. And then I couldn't go my junior year, but then my senior year.
Yeah, I remember it because I went with his best friend, and he ditched me.
What? Really?
Yeah, he left me and he went like drinking in the woods or whatever. And I was like at prom by myself.
And where was I? At the
And I
hospital?
didn't know anybody because it was all these
Seniors. Oh,
And then I found out you had gone to the hospital. Just story of my fucking life. And so then mom picked me up and then we went to the hospital
and met me there.
and met you there.
It was a wild night, people.
Yeah.
And not a fun one, let me tell you. And then my last prom, what happened? It wasn't even any good because I can't even fucking remember it. I'm pretty sure I went.
They were all trash.
They were just all trash bags, you know. So those were our prom experiences. Let us know in the comments below how your prom experiences were. Hopefully they were good and solid and beautiful memories that we created. And for the most part, I would say when it came to these contestants, they either didn't go to prom at all because they were child stars or you know, something had come up,
Or they had a great
or they had a great prom. I don't really remember anybody. There was a few people, like Jesse was bullied and stuff.
Vinny said that he was a little bullied.
Vinny said he was a little bullied, but you know, overall the dances were pretty good. We're gonna get into the meat of it right now. The first people to dance were Daniel and Brett, but before they danced, they did this really cute.
Yeah, like when they introduced them instead of just showing their little picture, like everybody was kind of, you know, onto the side and they would do a little dance routine.
Doing the Soul Train.
I just thought it was really cute. And, you know, it was a good way to
Fill
kill
time.
because
with it still being interesting.
Because it was just it felt like prom. It felt like, you know, I was watching like an 80s prom movie or something. Like it felt really fun. And then, you know, Tyra comes out with her big ass poofy pink dress.
I was not into that dress. That dress was hideous.
Yeah, but you know how we feel about Tyra. But I love the way they walked in. I thought it was super fun.
Yeah, it made sense.
It made sense. And then so to start off the night was Daniel and Britt, and they did a cha-cha-cha. And
I'm bringing sexy back.
Yeah. And he said he had fun at his prom. He went to a deaf prom, but he was excited to experience this prom. And he was so fun to watch. I mean, he moved it. I mean, his footwork does need work. But I mean, he is just beyond.
I can't
can't
believe,
imagine
yeah.
all the things and all the content he is able to do without being able to hear. And it's not like his interpreter can really, like, his interpreter is learning how to speak to him in a dance way as well.
Yeah, exactly.
So like it's this whole, they're like all learning together and they're all doing this really like fascinating challenge. And so even if his footwork needs help, I don't fucking care. I love watching him and I love being able to like witness what he's overcoming.
Yeah, I totally agree. Len said he needs a little bit of help on his free arm. But he's very grounded. And Carrie Ann said she wanted him to just explode like a little bit more. And I can see where Carrie Ann is coming from because he does seem like a very grounded person just in real life. And he expresses that when he dances. So, you know, maybe if you just put a little bit more life into his body. But I mean, he's better dancer than some of the people out there. You can even fucking hear the music. It's amazing.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
It's really fun. He got straight 8s. I thought it was a good way to start the night.
Yeah,
and
I love that song. It's fun.
I had a really fun time watching it. Heidi and Artem were up next. They did a jazz.
Guys,
felt
it was not good.
Slow. It had no energy. It felt placed.
They messed up.
They messed up.
I just
don't agree with the judges.
No.
I felt like she felt bored with a cheesy smile on her face. I hated the choreography. I thought it was super slow. And like, I'm not saying anything against that song. That song is classic, but like, it's a song. Nobody should be dancing like, I just don't like that song for a dance show.
Well, I think I told you in the middle of the routine, I was like, this would be a really good Zumba routine.
Right.
Like you're teaching Zumba and you're doing all the 80s moves and stuff. Like, okay, whatever. But it did feel slow. And it was messy. It was sloppy. It was not together. She messed up a bunch of counts and pops.
No energy.
There was no energy. I hated that she wore sneakers. I'm like, because if all the other dancers, because they had backup dancers for a bit, if all the other dancers were wearing sneakers, I would have been like, okay, but McKenna or whatever her name is, Mackenzie, and what's the other one?
I forgot.
What that was Joseph's partner. When they came out and danced with her or whatever, and they're in these like 6-inch high heels, and then she was in sneakers, and it just wasn't the right look for me. And I actually felt like it did her a disservice because then it made her more flat on her feet. And I felt like I really noticed that she doesn't have a bounce and she doesn't have an energy. Where sometimes when you're wearing the heels, you're already properly placed up. So yeah, it sucks dancing in heels. Trust me, I've done it 1,000 times before. But it makes you feel elegant. It's like when you're like, I wanna be bougie, and you put on a really nice outfit. You know what I mean? You feel that you dress the part, and I just don't feel like, I don't know. I just don't like it. I don't like when they get to wear sneakers. I think it makes sense in contemporary. Contemporary, you're barefoot. That's literally part of the dance. Just like when you tap dance, you wear tap shoes, unless you're doing soft shoe, but that's a whole other thing. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I just feel like, I don't know, I just felt like it was a disservice that she was wearing sneakers.
Yeah.
Even though it was jazz.
But once again, the judges love her, and I just don't see it. But she got an 8, and then Len gave her a 9. Which was just like,
nope. But Len loves her. Len loves her.
I think Len loves Artem. And then she got 2 more 8s. So 8, 9, 8, 8.
There's always that one person in the competition that we don't like, but the judges just seem to love. Is that Heidi for you guys? I don't know. It's Heidi for us.
Yeah, I'm not her biggest fan. No. But then we bring some energy with Vinny and Coco.
Well, before that, Derek did his little cha-cha breakdown.
Oh yes, he did. I love when he's doing that. Did he do that last night? He didn't do it last night, but he did do it this night. So he's definitely doing it like once a week. He'll probably break down all the dances that they do. And I'm really excited about it. It's so cute, and they dance, and when he was like, don't flex your foot, and then
she did the little flex foot choreography. I mean, yeah.
And the way he presented it was so fun. So yeah, I really like when he does that stuff. It adds time once again in an interesting way instead of hearing Tyra or
speak.
anybody,
Ooh.
blabble on.
Yeah.
So then after Derek did his lovely little cha-cha-cha piece, Vinny and Coco came out and they did a Viennese waltz. I agree with Bruno about the musicality, but he's so fun to watch.
Yes.
And, Stevie and I said this last night, is we are willing to give up on technique a little bit when we can feel your energy through the TV screen, and we can see how much this means to you, and it just sucks. He is improving, and he's improving leaps and bounds with every single dance. Is he ever going to be a professional dancer in the sense of ballroom status? I don't know. I don't know if it's innately in him, but what is innately in him is a fucking good time. And he's just so, he just has something that's so fun to watch, and he seems like such a fun guy, and I just hope he continues to improve. He hasn't ever been in the bottom. He obviously has a fan base. Once we get to the nitty gritty, then we'll reassess, and eventually it'll be his time to go, but I'm glad he's made it halfway through the competition, and he's able to continue, because the judges told him a couple weeks ago, they said, you need to put in more work, and I think he's put in more work.
My thing with Vinny is he's so fun to watch, but I think for him, if I were a judge, my advice to him would be is that he needs to start learning how to glide across the floor instead of walking across the floor. Yes, you have to get from point A to point B somehow, but it's not just like a stomp, 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 heavy on your feet. It's like you float. And he hasn't yet learned to float, but I'm gonna have faith that he can.
Yeah, I think he'll have a little breakout moment. He got straight 7s.
Yeah.
Which if when you add in the technique, 7s are fair scores.
Well, I thought the choreography was really cute but simple, effective. This was the one where he went up to ask to dance, and then he sort of was like, no. And then she came up. Was that one?
Yeah.
Yeah. I just thought it was so
they had this little acting thing in the beginning. It was really cute.
It was cute.
Ooh, Shalangela and Gleb were next. They did a cha-cha-cha.
So the judges loved it. Now, I loved it. I'm not saying I didn't. Even though her outfit was not a prom dress by any means.
That's what I'm saying. Everybody else was wearing something you would actually wear at prom, and then her dress, it was this leotard, was not prom attire, so it kind of took me out of the whole prom theme for a second. But bitch looked hot.
Well, yeah, and even though it wasn't a prom outfit, I really liked the outfit.
Oh yeah,
but I do agree with you.
I mean, I didn't like the big feather thing over it.
Oh no. Well, let's talk about that.
Yeah,
that entire opening sequence was just a trash can. Why did you do that to Shangela? I get where they were going with it. I think they were trying to do a drag queen performance, sort of.
Maybe.
I don't really know. I've never really been to a drag show. I've been to a few. And I know they lip sync and do stuff like that, which she was doing. So I think that they were trying to do an ode almost to a drag queen show before they really started dancing. But I feel like Grumpy Len, I don't give a fuck about all that extra bullshit.
Yeah.
Get on the fucking dance floor.
And dance.
And fucking dance. I personally thought that the song was really slow. I was like, is this the original tempo of this song? I wanted it just to be a hair faster. But with that being said, Shangela, when she actually started dancing, the dance was actually really good. And I loved her little hair flips at the end before her pose.
Yeah. I mean, she brought it, and bitch looked good doing it.
She still has technique issues, and the judges pointed that out. Now we know from yesterday that, she has the titanium rod in her leg, so she probably can't point. And I didn't like in the package when she was like, I want my legs to look like yours, because to me, that means that she really wants to work hard. And then Gleb was like,
that would never happen.
Well, that's impossible, he said. I'm like, you being a little bitch right now, Gleb? And Shangela is a better person than I. She just laughed it off. But like, I'm like, if I were the pro and my student was like, I'm not going past this move until I look like a professional, I would be like, yes, that's the fucking attitude. I wouldn't be like, well, that's never gonna happen for you, sweetie. You know what I mean? Like, but y'all know how I feel about Gleb.
Yeah, and we don't really know their joking context.
Yeah, maybe that's the way they
joke.
You know,
maybe that's just how they talk to each other. But from an outside point of view, like, this is how we get to know, if you will, these characters of the show. And when you're editing the package, it doesn't make me feel more connected or, you know,
to Gleb or
their relationship, I guess.
Next was
she got a 9.899.
Yeah, so Len gave her an 8.
I think these were her first 9s.
These were her first 9s. And Len gave her an 8 because, once again, he didn't like all that fucking mumbo jumbo in the beginning, and I fucking agree. I agree too. So now moving on, Charlie and Mark, they did a jive to Making My Dreams Come True. It was so cute. It was so artistic.
Cute. Yeah.
I mean, just from the top to the bottom,
in the beginning, they were like texting, and then on the screen came up their little text messages, and at the end, they took like a picture, and then it was a Polaroid on the screen. So like, it was this cool, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, it was really artistic, and it was cool to bring the
multimedia together.
Exactly. So I thought that was so fun. I mean, Mark is just a fucking genius. We have been over this. He has a different brain than the rest of us.
He is an alien.
Is fucking alien. Like,
yeah.
He is just beyond.
He's so good. He's so good, and Charlie is so good that they can get to this point where, like, I think we talked about this yesterday in the most memorable year, is it's to the point where the way Charlie is going to be challenged is by helping Mark, and Mark being challenged by his partner, is adding in that next level of creativity, which is very like Derek Huff and Julian Huff. You know, they do that. They have this beautiful way of mixing, you know, media with dance and art and sort of meshing it together, which is one of the reasons why I love Derek and Julian Huff. I love Mark Ballas. And so that's that. I mean, let's be honest, people. I'm 99% sure Charlie will probably be on Dancing with the Stars tour. Yeah. Well, the only reason that would stop her is because of her TV show.
True, but who knows?
But
they have guest stars all the time. Like, they'll be like, oh, they're going to be in these 3 cities. Oh, this one's going to be in these 4 cities. This one's going to be in this city once. Like, they do that all the time. They do that all the time. So depending, she probably won't be in the one that we're going to see on the East Coast. If she is in any of them, it'll probably be in California. I would assume.
You're right. I can't wait to go.
I know, me too. I'm
excited. I'm so excited. Guys, go to Dancing with the Stars tour. They're going on tour starting in January. We're going to the Atlantic City one, so if you guys are going to be around, let us know. And we're so excited. We're just going to spend the night in Atlantic City, do some gambling, see the show, hang out, and it's going to be a great time.
It is. Yeah. They got 9-10. Carrie Ann and Derek just wanted a little bit more, because now they're being nitpicky because they don't want to keep on giving her 10s
for the sake of giving
her 10s. Like, they're going to push her a little bit harder than these other people because she's right there, and now she's right there. But it's almost it's either you have a lot to improve on and then you keep on getting better, or you're already so good that you have to really, really fine tune, which is probably harder than just improving in general. So,
well, and I can agree. I can agree with who was it? It was Carrie Ann and Derek who gave her the 9s. That there was just a little bit of energy missing.
It was like she was like this compact, tiny ball of energy that was just about to explode, but it was just teetering on the edge, and it never got there. Like, because you could feel it. You could feel it was there. Like, she performed it. Like, she looked very cute. She had she hit all the moves, everything. But I was just waiting for I don't know, something to explode.
Yeah.
So,
and that's where it really comes down to the wire.
like whatever, like she'll make it to the finals, even if she doesn't win, just based on popularity. Because at the end of the day, the final is about the people voting for their favorite. So even if she doesn't win, just like when JoJo Siwa and Iman were on the same season, right?
Yeah.
Like Iman won and JoJo Siwa, they were obviously all in the finals, but she didn't win. Not because she's not a brilliant dancer, but because the people just voted for Iman. JoJo had higher scores from the judges, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure. But there was just something about Iman that the public was just like, that's it. So who knows? That could, you know, maybe Charlie and Mark do get second place or something. It all depends on the people, but I will tell you that they definitely get 10 votes for me every single time.
I'm forgetting to vote, guys. I'm so bad. But okay, but a side note, this is what's happening is I don't get out of work until like 9 o'clock at night. So then I race home on Mondays and Tuesdays, and we're not even starting Dancing with the Stars until, you know, 10:30 at night. And then we wake up the next morning, like right now it's 7 o'clock in the morning, and we do the podcast. So it's a sacrifice I'm willing to make for my favorite show.
Yeah.
But, you know, I do get home late, so then I could vote because I know who I'm gonna like, who I'm not gonna like. Let's be honest, you vote for the people you want to see and stuff. So I could preemptively vote without seeing the dances, but I don't know. It just seems a little.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
I don't know.
So after Mark and Charlie, we go to Jesse and Alan. They did a Whitney'S waltz. I didn't like it. I hated the dress.
Bad.
I didn't like the choreography. I'm sorry, Jesse, but like, she can't dance.
No, I did not like the choreography. I thought the cut of the song was weird. There was definitely a time where she went to do an underarm spin, but she was supposed to do an outer arm spin, and you could tell in her eyes she was like, oh fuck, and Alan sort of like pushed her around. I didn't feel like she looked together. I felt like Alan was dragging her around the stage. And to be fair, she is a lot shorter than Alan, so she has a lot more room to cover. But it felt like that. It felt like she was like taking really big steps to try to keep up with Alan to whiz around the dance floor. I really felt for her story about how she was bullied in school and she didn't go to prom or whatever because she switched classes, her senior year because she was bullied so bad and X, Y, and Z. And she seems like a really sweet lady, but to me, she's the weakest dancer on this show.
I agree.
Weakest dancer.
I agree. I would say she's the weakest dancer. But
Hated her dress.
Her dress was awful.
Hated it.
Yeah, I haven't been impressed with Alan this season, which really sucks.
Yeah, he's usually so good.
But yeah, sorry, Jessie. I just think you're the weakest link.
She's the weakest link, but she got straight 8s. I think it should have been straight 7s, to be honest with you.
I agree.
There's no way that was an 8 dance when Daniel got an 8. Vinny only got a 7. I thought Vinny did better than her because Vinny at least didn't make any mistakes. Right. Yes, Vinny's heavy on his feet. Yes, he's sort of stompy a little bit, but she clearly made multiple mistakes to me.
Yeah.
And her technique was awful, and Vinny's technique is awful too, but you can tell that he's actively working at it. And I'm not saying Jesse's not actively working at it, but he has such like a fun, we've talked about this. He has such a fun, vibe and demeanor that you forget to look at his feet because you're like looking at his beautiful smiling face and how much fun he's having. And with Jessie, she's like counting or singing along, or I don't know what the fuck she's doing, but I'm just not into it.
Yeah.
I'm just not into it.
Okay, so next was Gabby and Val. They did a tango. It was so good, but I wish she wasn't so bubbly and she could be more serious. Like it's so strange because we've talked about this before. She emotes so much more than any of the other bachelorettes.
Yeah.
Like she has it, but her personality is so bubbly and she is able to make it work within the dances that she does. Mm-hmm. But I would still like to see her in a completely like serious
different side
instead of I don't know how to describe it. She's always so fucking happy.
I know, and I love that about her, and she is funny and stuff. But she did a tango to "Good Girls Gone Go Bad," and the tango is supposed to be, you know, I don't want to say serious, but like sexy and
Right.
serious. Like usually people are doing tangos like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And she made it work for her, but because I think we know her personality and we know who she is, and so like
Right.
I could forgive it. But to me, and the technique was beautiful and the dance was really cool, but to me it was a straight 9 dance because I just wanted to see that other side of her. Yes, she gave us something, which I can appreciate because that's more than any other bachelorette has given us.
Mm-hmm.
But in the same vein, I just really was looking forward to seeing that other side of her and seeing really her acting skills
Yeah.
come into play.
Yeah.
You know, she has a natural presence, which we already know from The Bachelorette and from her previous dances. But now, Gabby's at the point, and this is where Charlie has a ring above Gabby,
Mhm.
is Charlie has the acting down pat.
Right.
We were talking about this last night, is Charlie has proven herself and her acting chops really, when it comes to dance at least, because she's done the character work, like when she did Simpson. She's done the traditional ballroom dances where you're nice and elegant and beautiful. She did her contemporary dance, which is like very like heavy and, you know, sad and whatever. And then last night she did her jive, which is like fun and happy and go lucky, and she's been able to tackle and conquer all of those characters. With Gabby, yes, she's executing the dances perfectly.
Bitch is beautiful.
Bitch is so fucking gorgeous. And we talked about that yesterday in our podcast, is how she just has the perfect body for dance. She looks good with Val, like dancing against Val. And she is giving us stuff. I just, for this particular dance, personally, I didn't think it was the right stuff, even though it did work for her.
Yeah.
But regardless, that's just me being nitpicky because she is really good and the dance was really fucking good. And they got the first perfect score of the season. Straight 10s. So that's cool. They got the first perfect score of the season. Let us know what you think. Like, do you think that Gabby needs to show that other side, or do you think that she's perfectly content? You guys as the viewers are content with her sort of just always having that bubbly charm. I don't know. I'm not saying it's wrong. I just want to see that other side. You
Yeah,
know?
totally. Then in between Gabby and Val and Joseph and Daniela, they did this
The Trevor one.
this yearbook. What?
It next is Trevor and Emma.
Oh, sorry.
But they did
Between
the
Trevor and
yearbook committee package.
Yeah, and it was so cute. I love when they do stuff like this, and I wish they will. I hope they do more stuff like this. You know, because they will have to fill the space and the time, and it was so fun. And you know, all it was them popping up, being like, oh, I think the best dressed would be this person. I think Jock would be this person. Class clown would be this person, or whatever it was. And it was fun, and it was cute, it was innocent, and it was just like, you know, it fit in with the theme, and I just thought it was just like a fun little package. It was a fun little package.
I love their little packages. They're so cute.
Totally.
I like the little packages. And they did show, I mean, it was weirdly placed. They showed everybody's prom pictures, the judges. They showed all the judges' prom pictures, but they were very weirdly placed. Like, somebody would dance, and then it'd be like, okay, Carrie, I'm going to you, but before you judge them, we're going to show everybody your prom picture.
They just should have taken up a section of time and been like, but before we get to Wayne and Whitney's dance, we have a special treat for you, and then put up their prom pictures, and then they could talk for a minute or whatever about their prom pictures. But it was so weird, like these poor people are like waiting to get their judges' comments, and they're like, but we're gonna put this picture. I don't know, it was very weirdly placed. And then Tyra could tell that it was weirdly placed because the judges were like about to speak, and then she was like, but wait, and she's like, they're making me do it, control room's making me do it, like, because once again she can't take responsibility for anything. And at that point it's nobody's fault, it's just weirdly placed.
Yeah, it was
just go with the fucking flow.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and to me it didn't seem like the judges knew that their prom pictures were going to be shown.
Right, exactly.
It didn't seem like anybody knew that their picture was going to be shown, because they were like flabbergasted. They were like, oh God, that's me.
Yeah.
And Len was so cute in his little picture. He's like, I still have the boyish grin.
Yeah.
I'm like,
The picture was
okay.
taken when he was 26 years old.
Wild.
It's so cute.
World War II era.
Yeah, seriously.
How old is Len?
He's like,
That could have definitely been, well, no.
he's in his late 80s, I would say. He's
What?
not young. He's not a spring chicken.
So before World War II. No. You know, once it hits 2000s, I always forget that we're like 22 years past
I know.
the millennium.
Yeah, seriously. I
I'm
know. It's
getting
crazy.
old.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I can't do mental math.
So that was a little crazy with the placement of that, but
I know,
whatever,
yeah.
we'll get over it. So then Trevor and Emma Whitney'S, they did a jive. I liked it. It was fun. He definitely needs a little bit more flick in his step with the jive.
Yeah.
But he did every step.
He did everything, and it was such an interesting song to do a jive to, and it worked for them.
Yeah.
And I think Derek even said that. He was like, I never thought I would see a jive to this
Green
song,
Day.
to Green Day, but like it worked. My Trevor, I'm really proud of Trevor. He had no flubs. He kept up all the content, all the steps. He looked good. When they showed that picture of him from when he was younger, Tulane and I were like,
When he did his like modeling days, I was like, oh hey.
yeah.
I liked him in the dark eyeliner look.
Ooh, he looked
The
good.
leather.
he did look good. But I will say that he started off the beginning of the dance on his toes, you know, nose over body, how you're supposed to be like bouncy. And then halfway through the song, he went back to flat feet and sort of like doing the kick steps and flicks and everything, but without the bounce. And I was like, no, Trevor, you had it. But you know what? The fact that he even got a bounce in there at all shows that he has improved so much.
Yeah.
Because he's always lacked a glide, a bounce in any of his dances. That's been something we've always said.
Yeah.
So the fact that he even had that bounce in the beginning, yes, he lost it halfway through the dance, but it already shows so much improvement.
I agree. They got straight 8s.
Deserved.
No.
Next was Joseph and Daniela. I love the song Shut Up and Dance. I feel like it's just one of those songs that just gets you going. They did a cha-cha. I loved his little package. He was the president of the student body.
Yeah.
And honestly, I thought there's something about Joseph, people. He just like has this like suave but not cocky. And he presented this to us last night in his Roomba too, and I felt the same way. Like, there's just something so refreshing about him, and like nice and suave, and maybe a little bit sexy, but not overbearing and not in your face. I don't know. I personally really like Joseph.
Yeah, I really like Joseph. He played it so cool, and I love that he improves every performance.
He was behind a few beats.
Yeah, but I can forgive it. Like,
yeah,
like I really, really like Joseph.
He got straight
to
A's.
his fate in a second.
Yeah. Next was Jordan and Brandon, and Jordan and Brandon are the one couple that I just forget about. There's always one couple that the judges like that we don't. There's always one couple that I just always forget about.
We were like, we have one couple left. We have Wayne and Brittany, and they're like, and performing next is Jordan. And we're like, oh fuck, we forgot about her.
About them. They did a contemporary to No Air. No Air is her song that she, created. And she, here's my thing, is she told this whole story, and I'm not saying it didn't happen, but she told this whole story about how she went to a prom, and when her song No Air came on, everybody left the dance floor and like sort of boycotted the song. And I'm like, this is a story that's already been told by Christina Aguilera.
Well, my thing is I don't like that song to dance to. I don't feel like that's a dancing song. Like, I'm not saying people, like, yeah, there's Mean Girls, like, maybe your song came on and they were like, jealous and they walked off or whatever. But like, I'm sorry, if No Air came on and I was at a prom, I'd be like, okay, it's
time for me to get some punch.
Time for me to get some punch, maybe spiked, you know what I'm saying? But like, this song doesn't bode well with dancing to me. I did not like when I think of contemporary dances, the music to me is just as important. And
Yeah, that's true.
I just don't feel anything from that song. And you know what? She does. It's her own song, whatever. I mean, the song is so old, and I remember it coming out, and I think when it came out, I was like, no way, like, you know, like I sang it and, you know, whatever, but it's not my favorite. It's not my genre.
We just don't listen to that genre of music, really.
So if I had to dance to that song, I would not feel connected to it at all. How am I supposed to breathe with no air? Well, I don't know, bitch. You just don't. You
just die. You die. Jordan to me has just always from the very beginning been, I don't know what to say.
I liked the second half way more than the first half.
I agree.
She got better as the song went on, but I felt like the beginning was very shaky. And I didn't like it. And I think Len said something too about they did that spin where she drops and then he spins her around, and Len's like, I hate seeing this. Like,
it doesn't really take that much technique.
It looks flashy to like the outer public, but it's not unique, and
it's not a hard move.
It's not and what we were saying is, I bet you anything this whole entire season, Charlie and Mark will never do that move. Anybody, Gabby and Val will like never do that move. Like, it'll be, and if they do it, it will have such a uniqueness that they add to it that it will make it harder to like advance it, but it just felt like a cheap shot a little bit.
Yeah, it is. It's a cheap shot move because it overdone. It fills lots of time, and it really doesn't take any technique besides keeping your core strong so you don't sort of fall, and it's overdone. It's just overdone. Like, it's a really easy move. It's a cheap shot, just like you said, and I'm glad Len pointed that out because it's true. It's true. We were saying last night, we're like, if we ever see Charlie or Gabby or, you know, Wayne for Whitney doing a move like that, it's not going to be just the simple, basic core move, which is what Jordan and Brandon did.
It's going to
have some sort of
a turn.
Yeah. Well, somebody had done, was it Danielle and Iman last year? I don't know, but somebody had done a really cool one where like they like flew like this, like they were doing the move. Do you remember that? It was so cool. Maybe it was Emma. I don't know. It was a while ago, but it was really cool. They did that move, but they like lifted her up every 3 beats, so she was like going through the air like this, and it was so cool. But that's what I'm saying is, Charlie and Gabby are at the point where they can take basic moves and add in those little nuances and those little tricks that make a simple move, like the basic step ball change, extraordinary.
Like
Jordan's still at the step ball change.
Right, exactly.
So
she got a 9.8, 9.9. I thought it was straight 8s, but
I did too.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just being a bitch.
You bitch.
And then last but not least was Wayne and Whitney. They did a samba. Samba's not my favorite, but Len got on his feet for a standing ovation, and so did Derek. I think the camera angles, I need to go and rewatch the dance because I thought in the beginning there was a few little like tweaks, but now looking back, I think it was just weird camera angles.
But there was so much content.
He obviously looked like he had a blast doing it. His arms were great. His feet were great. The dance was hard. That was a hard dance. Plain and simple. Like, no going easy on Wayne, you know?
Yeah.
And so I was impressed. I was proud of him.
Yeah, no, it was a really, really good dance. There was a little second where Whitney, when she went in the split between his leg, it was like her shoe got stuck or something, but that's not anybody's fault. That's just sort of like a, you know, sometimes it seems like the floor might be sticky, or maybe sometimes it's too, like, I'm like, why did you just wax the floor? You know? But besides that, I mean, they got straight 10s across the board, and it was well deserved because that was a good ass
samba.
Just, some traditional samba that still had flair to it. And I think even
flavor.
Well, and samba is all about flavor.
Yeah.
You know, and we all know Wayne already has the flavor. Like, we knew that coming in, that he was going to give us flavor. So samba's actually the perfect dance for him. And it was traditional samba, but it still had that uniqueness to it. And I think it was Len or maybe Derek I can't remember who it was, but they had said, you know, even in the moves that weren't samba moves, like the side by side, it still had that samba feeling. And I'm like, yes, that's it. Because what happens a lot of times is, especially with dancers who their partners don't give them a lot of in hold because they're like, oh no, in hold scary. And then they give them side by side scary, you know, and they give them like almost like a jazz routine to do on top of it. It feels like that. It feels like, okay, you did the samba and hold for a couple counts, and now you're doing, you know, whatever, and then they go back into samba. But even when they had those little breakaway parts, side by side parts, or parts that maybe weren't traditional samba steps, it still felt like the samba.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, they definitely deserve straight 10s. That was a perfect dance for Wayne. Perfect dance to end the couple dance on.
Oh, yeah, totally.
And then we went
to the marathon.
The marathon. I loved the marathon.
I
thought it was so
loved
cool.
it.
It was set up like a traditional sort of
It was
ballroom.
perfect for prom night.
It was perfect for prom night.
I wish they could do it every single week.
Uh-huh.
Or at least a few times in the competition, because that was really cool. And you could tell the judges were like, wow, like this is awesome. And it really does help. I mean, we'll get to the scores in a second, because the person that won this marathon dance off, their ass got saved.
Yeah,
Their ass got saved, because I'm almost positive they would have been in the bottom two if America's actually wanting to watch for good dances. She would have been in the bottom two, and these points that she got from the marathon got her out of the bottom two.
Yeah.
I guarantee you. I mean, there's no way for me to prove that, obviously, but that's what I'm gonna think, because
that's what I think too.
And you know what? And we'll get to who won, and I'm happy she won, because I think she really did. I think she gave it her all more than anybody else on that dance floor. But the scores did save her.
Yeah, the scores definitely saved her. So yeah, it was set up like a traditional ballroom sort of competition. You know, you start in your spot. They did 2 different dance styles. So they started with the hustle, and the judges, you know, were talking amongst themselves, and then would tell Louie and Cheryl, who came back and were like the people who tapped him out, and you know, go just say, hey, you're out, X, Y, and Z, and they would leave the floor. Now when it went to the second song, they had to do the Lindy Hop, which I love the Lindy Hop. It's so fun. It's sort of just like, it's swingy, you know, but with like lots of stunts. And the Lindy Hop is just like such a fun dance. I love it. And I love that they did 2 dance styles that we don't normally get to see.
Yeah.
Like nobody does the hustle, nobody does the Lindy Hop as like, you know, their actual dances. So it was really fun to get to see that. And then they get to move around the floor and do all their stunts and really spread out and, you know, just travel. And
I will say that
improv.
That none of them did do that.
No, not really.
Like,
they traveled a little bit, but
they all just kind of stayed in their spots and did their dance, where it would have been really interesting to like see somebody kind of move around the floor and like really take up the space. But they learned 3 dances. Like, I'll forgive it.
yeah.
I'll forgive it, but sorry, I have hiccups. So everybody got tapped out. So like the first person tapped out was Daniel. So he was the first person tapped out, so he got 1 point. And then it went up the chart. So the second person that got tapped out, and there was so much going on, I can't tell you who.
It was Daniel, Vinny, Jordan, Joseph, Wayne, Charlie, Trevor, Shangela, Heidi, and then it was last. I think I'm missing one other person in there. I'm not quite sure.
Who was last? Jesse and
last was Jesse and Shangela, right?
Maybe. I don't know. I can't remember, but Jesse ended up being crowned. Jesse and Ellen ended up being crowned queen and king. So they got 11 points because there was 11 couples and they were the last to be, or they won, you know, so they didn't get tapped out. But my thing, and here's the thing, Jessie fucking went for it. I mean, I don't even think she realized she had won. Like, she was just laser focused in it, ready to fucking win these points. And then they were like, you won, and you could just tell the bewilderment. And she was just like, what? Oh my God.
There's nobody left on the dance floor.
There's nobody left on the dance floor. Like, I'm it. Like, I won. And she was, I was happy for her. Like, I could just tell how happy she was. Like, she was just joyous. Those points saved her. Because the judges' scores are what, 2/3 of America's scores or whatever. So those 11 points fucking jumped, because she was at the bottom of the leaderboard. It jumped her up to what, 5th place?
Yeah.
I mean, those saved her. I will say, she did do the same 3 moves over and over again. Like, it was literally like the up, side, up,
the traditional
side,
Lindy Hop,
up, middle, up,
stunt.
kick your feet, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
and she looked cute. Like, she had the perfect little outfit. She has the look for Lindy Hop.
right.
You know, just that like sort of compact, cute little body with the little poodle skirt she had on, and you know, whatever. She definitely looked the part the most.
Yeah.
And they were doing the most Lindy Hop traditional moves, I would say.
Yeah.
But I did notice, just like you said, they had like maybe 3 or 4 8 counts that they were just repeating and repeating and repeating. But you know what? They did it.
They
whatever.
did it. She
So-
won. She got that crown. She seemed very happy about it. And then we got to the eliminations, and I called it yesterday. I said, I bet you anything they're gonna call Trevor's name first, and he's gonna break the cycle. And guess what they did? They said the first couple safe is Trevor and Emma. And so they win, and obviously, you know, they were probably really happy and surprised because obviously they're not in the bottom anymore.
Yep.
So they have, you know, another chance, and I feel like he'll really push next week. Next week's Michael Bublé week. And I think he'll really push for next week because he did get that second chance, and not just a second chance of, oh, I'm probably gonna do one more dance and then I'm gonna be in the bottom 2 again. He's not in the bottom 2, so he's gonna come back fucking fiery and be like, I'm not going back into the bottom 2.
Yeah.
And they did call him the dark horse a few episodes ago, so we'll see. I mean, I really hope he can bring it. So yeah, he broke the cycle, and then everybody kind of got saved, and then it was down to 3. It was down to Jesse and Alan in the bottom 3. Well, not in the bottom 3, because the third person, and they make it very clear, they're like, this does not mean you're at the bottom 3. This is just
how we,
this
for suspense,
right.
you know, whatever.
So Jesse and Alan were saved. So I don't know if they're actually in the bottom, like towards the bottom, or if they really have gone up. But in the bottom was Joseph and Emma, and then Heidi and Artem. And I was not mad about the Heidi and Artem being in the bottom, but I was surprised. And I was surprised that Joseph was in the bottom. And I just knew, once they called those 2 names, I was like, fuck, they're gonna fucking save Heidi.
Yeah.
And I was so disappointed, but I knew it was coming. But I agree with Carrie Ann. She was the only one that saved Joseph. And I agree with her wholeheartedly. I would prefer to see Joseph because he gives me something. Heidi gives me nothing. Heidi gives me nothing. Not saying she's a bad dancer, whatever, but like Joseph always tells a story or puts on a performance. And she said, I'm more interested to see where this competition takes you, Joseph, so I save you. But all the other judges saved Heidi. But like, why?
Can she please go home next week? I mean, I'm really hoping she goes home next week. Like, I'm done with Heidi. I don't think she's good. I don't think she's growing. I don't think she's learning.
Well, that's the thing, is I don't think she's growing.
And Joseph was.
And Joseph was, yeah. So I'm very disappointed. But that's the competition, you know? That's just how it goes. So
hopefully she goes home next week. So who do we think is going to be in the bottom next week? I mean, maybe Heidi and Jesse again. But then are they going to save Heidi again? They like Heidi.
It's hard because if it is between Jesse and Alan and Heidi and Artem, it sucks because Jesse can't dance.
I know, Heidi
can like do the moves, but like her face is just stone cold. Where Jesse actually does try to give a performance.
Yeah, I don't know.
So I don't know. For me, as long as Charlie, Gabby, Wayne, Shangela, Daniel, as long as those people don't go home quite yet, I can live with
other people getting eliminated.
But weird things have happened, you know what I mean? Like, some people, like, who knows? Like, Charlie could be in the bottom next week because people don't think they need to vote for her because they think that this has happened before, where it's like America's like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm not gonna vote for you because
I know
you're gonna get a million votes. I'm gonna try to vote for this person and then this person, and then all of a sudden they have no votes.
Well, that's definitely why they put in the judges' final tiebreaker or whatever, because it really was just a true popularity contest. And then you had people like, Bobby Bones, for instance, who had great heart but could not dance really to save his life, and he won Dancing with the Stars. And it was after that season that
they started doing
the judging saves, because here's the thing: is even if Charlie was ever in the bottom, the judges are unanimously going to save Charlie.
Yeah.
Over anybody else in this competition.
Over anybody else.
Anybody else. So the only reason Charlie's not going to win this might not win this competition is because when it comes down to the final wire between the last 3 couples, it truly is a popularity contest.
Yeah.
So I think Charlie is probably should be the winner.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Charlie, performance-wise, technique-wise, dance-wise,
continuously throughout the
season-wise, is the best dancer on this show.
Yeah.
She'll definitely be in the top 3.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think we can say right now top 3, Charlie, Gabby, Wayne.
Yeah.
We've said it before and we'll say it again. They're in their own section and then everybody else is in a general section.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good section for the most part.
Yeah.
But it's still below them. So we'll see. I mean, there's only 11 episodes, they said last night.
And this was what, episode 6?
This was episode 6, yeah. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We have 5 episodes left, guys.
Wow, that's crazy. So how many couples are left? There's 10 couples left.
10 couples left.
Usually there's 4 in the finale, right? Or 3?
Yeah. It changes. It changes every year.
So 4.
Let's say 4.
Yeah. Damn, this is crazy. I can't believe it's like all it's just gonna start going so fast,
I know. Well, let's think. So next week is Michael Bublé week. So what are they gonna do? Just dance to all
his songs?
His songs,
have a new Christmas album or something coming out, or a new album.
Love it. Well, and like I said, he's doing that thing with Derek.
Right. Probably promoting it.
Yeah, promoting it, whatever. And then the following week will definitely be Halloween, because Halloween will be on that month.
I really, really fucking hope this year that they do group dances. I miss the group dances. They break up into 2 separate groups and they collaborate together.
Yeah,
and it's so fun. They always have like fun props.
Halloween would be perfect to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's see. That will be Halloween week. And then so that's 2 episodes. And then, they'll have the first week of the second week of November, the third week of November, and then they'll end right before Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
And that show, usually when Dancing with the Stars ends the week before Thanksgiving, they do like a Christmassy or a wintry sort of show.
Yeah.
So, maybe we'll get a fun,
like
at Disney World or whatever.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll get a fun little Christmas show. I don't know. I'm really excited. I've been loving the themes. They've done a theme pretty every week.
Mm-hmm.
So I think maybe that's a new thing. They never used to do that, but I love a good theme. And I feel like it really hones it in too. So I'm really excited for next week. And yay, let us know what you think. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. See you next Monday, guys. Bye.
Eggs and bacon.